so I don't do distractions. I'm coming back.
Yo, what it do? It's your boys Juice and Lou, and we back here with part 3 of the mock drafts. Instead of going 5, we've gotten to the point where we can just go through 11 through 20, and then 21 through 30, or 21 through 32. We might as well just do that. But we'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
But today we're gonna knock these next 10 draft picks out the way. Next up, we got the Giants. Also, we got our boy Austin back. You already know how we had to do it. It wouldn't be right without him. So,
Yes,
without
sir.
further ado, Austin, I'll let you go first. Let's go.
All right. Well, we finished up the first 10 picks yesterday, so we're starting off at 11 with the New York Giants. And based on my mock drafts, I've got them going Penei Sewell, tackle out of Oregon. Sewell is somebody that should go 5 at the Bengals, but as I stated in the previous video, I don't think that's going to happen because of Joe Burrow lobbying for Jamar Chase. So I've got the Giants going Sewell because they desperately need tackle help on that offensive line. Now, Daniel Jones isn't really that great of a quarterback in my eyes, but I think with Penei Sewell at probably right tackle, although I think you should play left and move Nate Solder to right, but that's a discussion for another day. I think giving Daniel Jones a generational tackle talent could really give him some more time to be able to make some plays and maybe showcase some of the skills we haven't been able to see yet due to their terrible offensive line. So, yeah, I got the Giants going Penei Sewell. Next up, we got the Eagles. This is my team. There's a couple different things I think we could do here, and it really just depends on what happens before us. I think we're going to go receiver or corner, unless somehow Penei Sewell falls to us. Then I know that's who we're going to draft because that's already been stated by Howie Roseman. But I got us going Devontae Smith, receiver out of Alabama, Heisman Trophy winner. We desperately need wide receiver help. Our receivers last year, Travis Fulgham, outside of that 3-game stretch, he didn't really do much. Jalen Reagor, I'm not going to write him off too early. I wanted the Eagles to draft Jalen Reagor about 9 months before that draft even happened. Obviously, at the time, I still wanted us to get Justin Jefferson, but I wasn't mad at the Reagor pick. I am now, in retrospect, looking at how Justin Jefferson turned out. But I got us going Devontae Smith because our receivers are just awful. I think we could also go corner here. There is a chance I see us passing on Devontae Smith for a corner, like J.C. Horn, but I think that Devontae Smith is going to be in an Eagles uniform next year if the draft goes the way I think it is. Next up, we got the Chargers. The Chargers, they could go one of two ways here. I've got them taking Rashawn Slater, offensive tackle out of Northwestern. I think they could also go corner. They could go Caleb Farley or J.C. Horn this early because they lost Casey Hayward in free agency. So they do need corner help, but I think you get a corner later in the draft and you continue to beef the offensive line to protect your franchise Rookie of the Year winner, Justin Herbert. If Rashawn Slater's still there at 13, I think as the Chargers, you got to pick him because there's some arguments that can be made that Rashawn Slater is the better day one starter at tackle, which I do believe. I believe Sewell's got a lot higher of a ceiling, but I think day one, Rashawn Slater can come in, start, and be probably a top 15 tackle in the NFL right out of the draft. The Vikings at 14, this is probably the easiest pick, in my opinion, out of all of these, is I got him going Elijah Vera Tucker, guard out of USC. He was the Morris Trophy winner, which is given to the best offensive linemen in the Pac-12. They desperately need interior line. They lost Riley Reiff, right tackle, to the Bengals, but I don't think they go tackle here just because, I could see him going maybe Christian Darrisaw, but I really think they're going to go Elijah Vera Tucker just because he's the best interior lineman in this draft, and outside of him, the drop-off for interior line it's pretty substantial. So I got him going Elijah Vera Tucker to, I guess, try to protect Kirk Cousins, although I think they should draft a quarterback later in this draft, but that's for another time. 15, with the previous trade that I had mocked, them trading the Patriots, they moved down to 15, and they grabbed Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, linebacker out of Notre Dame. JOK, as I'm going to refer to him, he's kind of a hybrid between a safety and a linebacker. I wouldn't say he's Isaiah Simmons type hybrid, but he could play both, but he's more of a middle linebacker in a safety's body, and he can easily play sideline to sideline. He's that kind of modern middle linebacker you want. And I know some people are going to think, well, why not Micah Parsons? He's still on the board. Why do they pass on Micah instead of Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah? And the reason they pass on Micah Parsons for me is for two reasons. One, Micah Parsons has a lot of off-field concerns, which is why he's going to slip in this draft. Now, whether or not that's going to come into play in his career, remains to be seen. But also, Micah Parsons isn't really dominant at anything on the field. He's more of a jack of all trades type linebacker. In looking at him, and as he's a jack of all trades prospect, he can rush the passer if he needs to off the edge, not as a defensive lineman, but off the edge as an outside linebacker. He can play coverage. He can go sideline to sideline, but he's not elite at any one skill. And that combined with the off-field issues, I think, is really what's going to make him slip. And he's going to get picked here soon, but he's not going to be the first linebacker off the board. Number 16, the Cardinals. I got him going J.C. Horn out of South Carolina. There's arguments to be made that he is corner one in this draft. I mean, J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain, and Caleb Farley, you can really rank them 1 to 3 interchangeably, and you can make an argument for each of them being corner one. Surtain's off the board with Cowboys at 10, so I got him going J.C. Horn just because of Caleb Farley's back injury, and that's going to make him slide, in my opinion, down into the late 20s, 30s. Maybe a very slight chance, but maybe even a day 2 pick. But yeah, J.C. Horn's a really good scheme fit. He can pair with Byron Murphy to try and rebuild that secondary after losing Patrick Peterson. I don't think he'll be able to replace him soon, but maybe in due time he can become that lockdown that Patrick Peterson once was. The Raiders, they're going to go offensive tackle here. I got them going Christian Darrisaw out of Virginia Tech. They desperately need offensive line help everywhere now aside from left tackle because they got rid of Gabe Jackson, they got rid of Trent Brown, and they got rid of Rodney Hudson. Why these moves were made still doesn't make sense to me. As an outsider looking in, I'm not a Raiders fan, so maybe they know something I don't. But these still makes absolutely no sense why they blew up their O-line. So I've got him going Christian Darrisaw. Darrisaw is a really good tackle prospect. I don't think he doesn't have as high of a ceiling as Sewell, and he wouldn't be as good of a day one starter as Rashawn Slater. But outside of those two, I think he's the next best thing tackle prospects wise. And he's got some guard flexibility, I would say. He could play the guard, but I think they're going to play him at right tackle, which is where he should be played, in my opinion. And 18, the Dolphins have their second pick in the draft, and this is where I've got Micah Parsons going. I think there's no way the Dolphins pass on Micah Parsons here. You've got to end up with Jalen Waddle at 6, which is what I had him with, and then your second pick, you end up with Micah Parsons, who 2 months ago was a projected top 5 pick, and even with the issues off the field, just starting to come up, he was still a projected consensus top 10 pick. So to get him at 18 is just tremendous value. I already touched on him that he's a jack of all trades linebacker, but doesn't really excel at one thing. So I'm going to move on real quick to the Washington football team. They brought in Curtis Samuel, so one of my earlier mocks, I did have them going receiver here, but when they brought in Curtis Samuel to pair with Terry McLaurin, so I think receiver's off the board for them at 19. And I've got them going Tevin Jenkins, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma State. A lot of tackles taken in this part of the draft, but this is where they're mostly going to go. Tevin Jenkins is a really, really good tackle. I think if there's one tackle in this draft that in 5 years you're going to look at and say, wow, I can't believe he went this low, it's going to be Tevin Jenkins. And pair him with Brandon Sheriff on the right side because he's a right tackle in my eyes. He's more of a right than a left. And I know they got Morgan Moses at right tackle, but I think there's a chance they move him to left if they get Jenkins. I mean, if they play Jenkins at left, I don't think it's going to be the worst thing in the world. I think he'll still do great. But they got to bolster that offensive line for whoever's going to play quarterback for him, whether it's Heineke, whether it's Fitzpatrick, or whether it's somebody they decide to draft in the later rounds. And then the final pick for 11 through 20 for me, the Bears. I've got them going Rashad Bateman, receiver out of Minnesota. I would have had them taking Tevin Jenkins because that's kind of the name I hear going around a lot associated with the Bears is Tevin Jenkins and Rashad Bateman. Those are the two names. With Jenkins going at 19, I got him going Rashad Bateman. He ran a 4.39, which is really good for somebody his size. He's 6'2". I think he's like 205 pounds, but to run a 4.3, I think that'll pair really well with Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney. I mean, their quarterback's Andy Dalton, so I don't really know how much production they're going to expect to get out of him year one, especially with that offensive line not good. But when they inevitably lose Allen Robinson next season, he'll be a good step in, and him and Mooney could be a good duo at the receiver spot. And that's all I got for 11 through 20.
Okay. You had a lot of interesting picks. I like it. For me, for my draft mock 11 through 20. So you had Penny for the Giants. I got Rashawn Slater, of course, because I think Penny is going to go to the Bengals at 5. And at 12, I got y'all, the Eagles, of course, getting Devontae Smith as well. Then the Heisman winner, like you said. His
Fingers
build,
crossed.
people have questioned his build because he's a very skinny dude. But
Very, very skinny.
he can run routes exceptionally well, in my opinion. And I feel like that with his height as well, being able to catch jump balls in the future, of course, I feel like that will make him a very good receiver, hopefully. If Jalen Hurts can come together, become y'all starting quarterback for the future as well, that'll be a scary duo y'all got right there. At 13, for the Chargers, I see them getting Christian Darsaw, the offensive tackle here. Like you said, Justin Herbert needs some help, and I think they'll go with him here at 13. At 14, this is kind of a sweeper for the Vikings. They just lost Eric Wilson, and I feel like they need more edge rushers. So I feel like they're going to draft Azeez Ojulari from Georgia, the edge rusher. Now pairing him up with what's his name?
Danielle Hunter.
Danielle Hunter, and you also have Harrison Smith. He's getting up there in age, though. I can understand if they could use like a corner here, or like you said, an offensive line for Kirk Cousins. But I feel like they definitely should go defense here because of how bad they were last year. I mean, their coverages, you could clearly see that they were blowing coverages as well. And I think Danielle Hunter was in and out the lineup too. But they did pick up Patrick Peterson this offseason. So adding another dude who can get pressure on the other side of the ball, the other side of the line with Danielle Hunter on the other side, I think that would be a plus for them. At 15, I got Justin Fields falling this far to the Patriots. I feel like this will be a sweeper because of all the speculation about, Ohio State quarterbacks haven't really performed in the NFL because people say they got elite talent around them in college. I see that point, but I feel like Justin Fields, Bill Belichick system with Cam Newton, of course, starting this year, and Justin Fields hopefully coming in the next year, becoming the starter. I feel like that will be a great thing that will happen for him, like you said on the podcast yesterday. I just see him falling this far because of all the speculation. People don't really know about him that much anymore. I don't know why, because we've seen him play really good in college at times, and we see the flashes. But I got Justin Fields at 15. 16, I got Christian Barmore, defensive tackle from Alabama, going to the Cardinals here. I feel like they need a little bit more beef up front. They need to stop the run. They ranked 21st last year in run defense. And their defense, I don't understand their linebackers were injured last year. Chandler Jones was out. I can see people saying get a corner here like J.C. Horn, but you got Isaiah Simmons and Budda Baker in the back. If Isaiah Simmons still plays strong safety next year, those two really fast players, I don't think any deep balls will get on them if they have them back there. So I don't think corners will be that big of a problem. I would worry about stopping the run first. At 17, I got to go for the Raiders, J.C. Horn, cornerback. They need defense desperately, in my opinion. They got a solid offense, in my opinion. You could say an O-line too, but their defense was not that good last year. It's one of the main reasons they start to slow down throughout the season because people started putting up numbers on them. I mean, we saw the Jets almost beat them. Took a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
But I think the Raiders need J.C. Horn to go be their number one corner for the future. So I got him at 17. Dolphins, their second pick in the first round. I got them taking Elijah Vera-Tucker, offensive guard from USC. I think this will be a great pickup for them. Like I said, they need more beef for Tua up there. They'll have Jamar Chase, hopefully. So that's two offensive pieces in the first round. I think that's very good for them. At 19, I had the football team trading up for Trey Lance at 8. So the Panthers now have the pick. And I got them taking Greg Newsome, the second out of Northwestern, cornerback. I heard they really like him. And if they do make a trade to fall back, they will take him, in my opinion. Now, Greg, he's not really scouted as one of the top 3 best corners, but I think he'll be a really good corner with Dante Jackson on the field. And then the Carolina Panthers, they had a great young defense. Still got Brian Burns, just drafted Jeremy Chin. Those 4 players, they're going to be the stars in Carolina in the near future, obviously. That's what I got 19. And for 20, I'm going to agree with Austin. They're going to take Rashad Bateman, the wide receiver out of Minnesota. That's my 11 through 20.
Okay,
I like that. I like that Panthers pick.
Yeah.
Panthers. That
My
is tough.
research.
That is tough. I say my first pick for the Giants. They definitely go lineman. Christian I don't know how to say his last name. Darrisaw, yeah. Christian Darrisaw. I got them going there. The Giants this offseason, they made moves for everybody except for that O-line, especially releasing one of their best linemen and we getting him. They're definitely going to need to fulfill that role. So I think adding him will be a great start. He's younger, so it could be something good over there. Eagles, I also have to agree with you guys. I think y'all get Devontae Smith. Y'all need a receiver or another receiver. I feel like he could come out and be like not a Justin Jefferson of last year, but he could be something real special. I don't think he'll like pop out like Justin Jefferson did, but he'll have those games where you gonna see, oh yeah, he's gonna give him a couple years and or just get him in the weight room or whatever. 13, I got the Chargers going J.C. Horn. I know they probably need to work on that line, but they did get some linemen in free agency. So I think they can make some moves on the defensive side. So I think J.C. Horn would be a really good start. Now Minnesota, I'd have to agree that this probably has to go. They probably got to go defense here with Jalen. I think they go safety. I think they go Trevon Moehrig. Yeah, I think they go here. I think they go there with him. Harrison Smith, they do go. He is about to be up there in age. So who knows how much time he has, or if they're even going to bring him back for next year. Well, the year after next. So it's nice to look younger, to get younger. That D line, you could probably get like an edge later on, but I feel like you go secondary for this one. 15, I got Trey Lance going to the Patriots.
Wow.
And I feel like Trey Lance, God forbid Cam Newton, I love Cam Newton, but God forbid that he does anything bad or gets an injury or anything. But I feel like Trey Lance is going to be what Justin Jefferson was last year. When Tyrod got hurt.
Justin Herbert.
I was about to say Justin Jefferson.
No, I'm saying when Tyrod got hurt.
You said Justin Jefferson.
And Justin Herbert. Oh, I said, so my fault. Yeah. Justin Herbert.
Let's say they're going to have this man running routes?
Yeah.
The Patriots do suck.
Yeah, but I feel like if something were to happen to Cam, I feel like Trey Lance is going to come and fill that Justin Herbert role, like how he was when he came in for Tyrod Taylor last year. And I feel like he's just going to be great from the jump. 16 Cardinals, I got them going D-line. Christian Barmore. I feel like adding J.J. Watt, you got your linebackers still. I feel like your secondary can be great. Just let them develop with Budda Baker back there. I feel like you can add more to that line. That line can definitely, and you're talking about earlier how they need some run stoppers. I feel like he could make some shakedown there on the line.
6'5", 315.
Yeah. So I feel like
definitely
he can make
reminds
some
me.
shakedown there.
He definitely reminds me a lot of Fletcher Cox.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like he can do something there. And he's out of Bama, so them Bama boys. Yeah.
As long as it's not
17.
a quarterback.
Well, yeah, he's not a quarterback. So 17, I got Greg Newsome going there for the Raiders. I agree, Jalen. That defense was atrocious. That first couple of games for the Raiders, they were undefeated for like a little bit. It wasn't nothing crazy, but it was a little bit. And their offense was looking really good with Nelson Aguilar. He was having a breakout season, in my opinion, I would believe. So it really started falling apart when the defense fell apart and they started torching it. So I feel like you start cornerback. And Greg Newsome, I think, is the way to go. Dolphins, I think they go edge rusher, Kwity Paye out of Michigan. Not really much to say. It was really a team need for them. So I feel like just adding him would be a good pick, especially if the defense was already solid. The defense was already solid last year. Top 5 defense, of course. I feel like adding him would just add more fuel to the fire. So 19, the football team. I got Mac Jones going here.
Wow.
This is where I got Mac Jones falling. I don't think he's going to be top 10, top 15. I don't see it. Especially with his pro day it wasn't that hot either. So I think that hurt him. And it's just a football team thing to do, to take a quarterback when you just signed one and then you just brought one in Fitzpatrick in. It's just a football team to do. Make it a 3-way competition. But I feel like that's where they go. The receiving core, I think it's fine. Their line, it's not great, but it's not bad. I feel like it's average, pretty average. And the defense is fine. I think the defense is fine. So why not go Mac Jones here? You never know if Taylor Heineke was probably a 1-game wonder. Fitzpatrick, if he's going to be Fitzmagic, who knows? So that Mac Jones would probably be your guy. And for 20, I wanted him to fall to us, Baltimore. But I also have Rashad Bateman going to the Bears. Allen Robinson, they franchise tagged him. I doubt that he'll be here. And after next year, I doubt that he'll stay. So Rashad Bateman taking that step or that upgrade to replace him, I feel like that would be a great change. And then you wouldn't have to worry about going receiver next year because you can go quarterback next year. So
not many good quarterback prospects next year.
Probably not, but it doesn't hurt to
Mac Jones.
at least try somebody.
I can't believe you've got 2 quarterbacks lasting till 15 and 19.
Yeah.
Outside of these QBs, there's not another quarterback except for one name that I think can go in the first round, and that's at 32. So I would be shocked if any of these quarterbacks make it past, honestly, the 7th pick.
I don't know. Mac Jones, I just don't see him going top 15. I just don't see it.
The Pacers
he was
been
real
saying
good.
Mac Jones are there. They're taking Mac Jones.
I just pray Justin Fields isn't there at the Eagles pick. I pray that he's not there because I could see us taking him, and I don't want him.
Jalen Hurts. I feel like y'all got to ride with Jalen Hurts, man.
I feel like we needed a ride with Carson Wentz, but that's a story for another time.
Yeah, that is a story for another time. Thank you guys for tuning in for this episode. Tomorrow we got you. We're going to finish this up, 21 through 32. We're going to let y'all know how that goes. But until then, it's your boys, Juice and Lou, and we out of here. Peace.
Yo, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, turn post notifications on so you know when we post next. All right, peace.